You're listening to the Franchise Freedom Podcast with Giuseppe Grammatico.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your franchise guide, the show where we help corporate execs experience time and financial freedom via franchising. And really excited, we have a solo episode for you today, and we are changing up the format just a little bit going forward. And we are really going to be spending some time answering a lot of the common questions that we're getting on a daily basis. And today I'm very excited to spend some time. This will be a shorter episode. We're gonna dive right in. And the title for today, the subject matter is how do you start looking for a business? And I think that is a crucial area that a lot of people miss or maybe overlook. And not only have I experienced that personally, I'm hearing that on our daily calls with families we're working with. And I've also seen it online, social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, seeing a lot of these questions. So how do you start looking for a business is the theme of today. We spent a lot of time on the show talking about, what are your strengths? What are your interests, weaknesses? What does the ideal day look like? But it's really about how do I just get started? So the number one reason, or number one area, I should say, before starting looking for a business is your why, knowing your why. So that's number one. Number two is time management, time blocking, whatever you want to call it. Those are the two areas, and we're going to dive in. So I wrote an article probably about 3 years ago on your why, needing to know your why. Why are you starting this business? What are you looking to accomplish? And I think that's then I think I know it's a extremely important area, knowing your why. And your why it's going to vary. So it doesn't have to be the same why as the next person. So that why could just be to experience financial and time freedom. So what does that even mean? Time and financial freedom. And financial freedom could just be making enough money so that all the bills are covered. You're able to put aside money for retirement and have that nice lifestyle. Other people's financial freedom is they're looking to quadruple, what they're currently making and be able to retire at the age of 40 or 50 or whatever the age is. So that's going to vary, but it's really digging deep and figuring out, why are you doing this? This vehicle of owning a business, owning a franchise is a lot of work. There's a lot of time that's going to go in it, a lot of money, dedication. There's going to be sacrifices. So you really need a strong why before moving forward. There's really no reason to move forward without that why, because you're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start changing your mind. Every little hiccup or bump in the road is really going to set you back. So the why is crucial. I'm going to link the just to keep these recordings shorter, I'm going to link the previous article I wrote on LinkedIn a few years back. So that is number one. And then number two is time. And when working with families, they'll say, well, how do I have the time in order to even start researching this? And that's a great question, because I've been in your shoes, and I'm here to tell you, if you have that strong enough why, and if you truly need that change, you will find the time. So what does that mean? So give me some examples. So my big one is, I've kind of done away with my to-do list, and my time management is Google Calendar. So there's a little bit of when I talk about my tech stack and some of the CRMs and some of the free apps out there, Google Calendar has been a game changer for me, because you are able to block time, and time blocking simply means, if you have a task at hand, and that means 1 hour of franchise research, 1 hour of looking at funding options, putting that time, from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, maybe it's your lunchtime at work, setting aside that time, making sure you're setting the away on there so that no one else can book that time. That's going to be crucial, because that 1 hour is going to you're going to have to cram in as much as you can in that hour. And maybe you have an hour at lunch, and maybe you have a half hour in the morning, half hour in the afternoon that you can block out. But that'll put aside the time so you can dedicate towards the research and figuring out. And there are so many other aspects. Obviously, you need money to own a business, but that'll be part of that time. It may be 30 minutes with a funding partner to go through funding strategies various ways to fund the project. And the other half may be directly talking to franchise owners as you move along through the process. It may be, not speaking with the franchise owners, the franchisor, funding partners, but those franchisees are going to be crucial at the very end, or I should say the second stage of the process, and really getting to ask them those questions. But without that time, it's going to be extremely difficult. I personally would set aside an hour. I would grab a conference room when I work for my employer. During my lunch break, I would go to a quiet area. Maybe it was a park, or maybe it was a local coffee shop where it was quiet and you can have calls. That 12 o'clock was not an ideal time. So I knew that based off of where we're going, where it was going to be a little bit more quiet, or what had the area that had the best Wi-Fi signal at the time. This is going back quite a few years, but really setting aside that time. Listen, at the end of the day, without the time to put towards this, it's going to be extremely difficult. So if the why is there, it may be, hey, you got 5 minutes to eat and 55 minutes towards this. And again, this is not forever, but if you truly believe that a business is that vehicle to take you to the next level, to get you to your why, I would strongly suggest relooking your schedule, maybe asking your employer to be able to work a day a week at home, a half day, working virtually, maybe on Fridays, instead of commuting in. That's been very common speaking with a lot of families we work with. So I know it's two basic concepts, going back to your why. Why are you doing this? And going back to time management, that investment, and putting that together. If you need assistance, I work with people on kind of figuring that out. But really, you want to make sure that the hours of 9 to 5 working hours, because you're going to be talking with other franchisees as well as the franchisor. You want to make sure the hours are during regular business hours, and then when you get home, from work or early in the morning, you can maybe look at a pre-recorded webinar, a podcast, read a book or an article. But those live calls really need to be dedicated for that, including, obviously, I took the bus in. Your commute in is another great way to get some research in. So I encourage everyone to take a look at Google Calendar as an option. Utilize time blocking and to really make it work. Put aside the away, mark it as away, so no one can schedule with you during that time. And we'd love to know your thoughts. If there's anything else we can add to this, questions, any way I can help, feel free. You can always send me my an email directly right on the website. Just go to ggthefranchiseguide.com and you can send me a message. You can send me a message on wherever you're viewing this, whether it be YouTube, via social media, and would love to hear your thoughts. So working on a few other topics of questions that we're getting on a daily and weekly basis. And again, love your feedback. A lot of your feedback have been created and turned into past episodes. So looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for everything, and we will talk soon. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways Giuseppe can help. 1. If you've ever considered owning a business of any kind, you owe it to yourself to get a copy of Giuseppe's book, Franchise Freedom. Download your free copy at ggthefranchiseguide.com/book. 2. Want to understand how successful executives make the transition from corporate to owning their own franchise? Join Giuseppe's next online presentation, Franchise Freedom: How to Escape the Corporate World and Have Financial and Time Freedom by Owning a Franchise, by going to ggthefranchiseguide.com/video. 3. Want to work with Giuseppe one-on-one to identify the right franchise opportunity for you, to navigate the process, and get plugged into experienced franchising advisors? Send him an email to gg@ggthefranchiseguide.com with one-on-one in the subject, and he'll send you all the details.